Welcome back to another video, guys. In today's video, we are going to do a vision board that actually works. But before that, make sure that you click the link in the description to join the 6-week Monarch Challenge. When you're seeing this, it should be January 1st, which means there's only 7 days left to join the challenge before we close it for good. So if you have been wanting to build muscle, lose fat, be in a community of like-minded women, this is your shot. 7 days left. And also, at the end of this video too, in the description, there's going to be a PDF version of everything that I'm talking about, so that if you want to do it on your own, you can also use the PDF. And it has more information than what we're talking about in the video as well, just in case you're not able to make a vision board where it's like on a, what's it called? A thing. You'll see it when I make it, because some people like to make their vision boards on like Canva or digital, however. But for me, I like to see it and I like to put it next to my desk. So let's begin. Step number 1 to making the perfect vision board has nothing to do with actually creating a vision board, but trust this process, it seriously works. So step number 1 is to visualize your dream life with gratitude. So I want you to dream like your dreamiest dream. And I want you to sit in a quiet place, close your eyes, and imagine what your dream life looks like from the minute that you wake up until the moment you go to sleep. Like when you wake up, who's sleeping next to you? Like when you look out your window, what do you see? Like, do you see mountains? What kind of house do you have? Like, what does your morning routine look like? What time do you wake up? All of this has to do with creating your dream life. So for example, when I wanted to do the job that I do now, I always dreamed that I could wake up in like a really nice apartment and I was like sleeping next to like my partner that I loved. At the time I had no partner, and I got to wake up at like whatever time I chose, because that's how I wanted my life to be. And now, luckily, it is like that, even though I do choose to wake up at 5:30 or 6 a.m. just because I like to. But these details are so important, because you might be working a job right now that isn't actually true to you and you're not passionate about. So think about what time you wake up. Like, what's your morning routine look like? Do you have kids? Like, do you have an incredibly sexy partner who's sleeping next to you? All of these things, like, go into detail when you're visualizing it. Step number 2 is going into planning. So first, I want you to write down 3 to 5 core values. So for my core values, I wrote down honesty, courage, and humor. These are things that I live by, especially courage. Not especially courage and humor, only courage, humor, and not honesty. Because for me, like sometimes I take myself super seriously and like what I do super seriously, that it's easy for me to lose like the humor in it. But that's like a big part of my personality and what I personally love about myself. And courage, I feel like this year is going to be really big for me in stepping out and being courageous with the goals that I'm going to tell you guys about later. And then honesty, that's just a good core value for anyone to have, with your relationships, with your friends, with your partners, with your family. Just being honest with, not just being truthful, but being honest with like how you're feeling, like your stress levels, like things that are on your mind, and not holding things back. So these are the 3 that I'm using personally, but you do you, boo-boo. 3 to 5 words to write down are 3 to 5 feeling words. So how do you want to feel this year? Like, what emotions do you want to come up throughout this year? So for example, me personally, I struggle a lot with anxiety. So one of my feeling words that I want this year is to be more peaceful, which is a huge challenge for me, but I know is necessary to reach the goals that I want to without being anxious the entire time. My feeling words for this year are purposeful, powerful, confident, and unstoppable. So almost every year I want to feel powerful because that is just my brand. My brand is based off of know your power. So that's always a big one for me. But these feeling words are going to go into creating our vision board later, because we can either put those words on the vision board that we can see, or we can find images that have to do with those words. So for example, like, what kind of image do you see with the word powerful? Like, to me, when I think of powerful, I think of like a really, like an image of a really strong woman that's just, I don't know, like in her power, whether that's like her standing in front of a bunch of people or just being unapologetically her. Like, what image goes with that? Another thing to think about with the feeling words, there might be some emotions that you have been feeling this year that you don't necessarily want to feel or take into the next year. So that's how I came up with the feeling word peaceful, because although I've gotten better at managing my anxiety, I definitely know that I can be a lot better at it. So I was like, okay, what's the opposite of that? It would be having more peace in my life. And with the other ones, I mean, I feel like these are just ones that I want, but I feel like for me, the one thing that I have felt throughout this year that I don't want to carry into next year is the lack of peace and feeling more anxiety. So if it helps you to come up with like the opposite of these things that you don't want to feel, that can help too. Next is to write down 3 to 5 positive practices that you want to take into the next year. So 3 to 5 practices that you want to take into the next year. So this could be, you know, if you're watching this, most likely you're into fitness, so you might be already working out. But if you're not, then working out, going to the gym, journaling, meditating, doing yoga, more self-care. Like, what positive practices that maybe you're not doing or you want to do you want to take into the next year? Sorry. So my 3 positive practices that I want to take into the next year are yoga, meditation, and reading. So I used to do all 3 of these things, but this year I just completely fell off from doing them. I used to read so much and like educate myself, and I just stopped. And I used to do yoga all the time, and it really helped with my bodybuilding journey and my posing, and I just stopped for a number of excuses I won't bore you with now. So those are 3 things that I know are so beneficial to my mental and physical health that I want to carry into next year. The next word clump is 3 to 5 of your biggest goals. So this is where I want you to dream big, like that dream job, that dream relationship, maybe a financial goal, maybe a weight goal or a squat PR. What else do people like? I don't know. I'll tell you mine, maybe that'll help. Okay, so for me, my 3 to 5 big goals that I picked were qualifying for the Olympia, 500K subscribers on YouTube, run 2 Know Your Power retreats, 700K followers on Instagram, 5 million followers on TikTok, and I will collab with Chris Bumstead. These are my 5 biggest goals for this year. So the last thing that we're gonna write about is your 3 to 5 material items. So if there's a car that you've been wanting, a house that you've been wanting, a bag, a pair of shoes, like whatever it might be, this is where you can get a little bit materialistic and put those things on your little goals so you can see them every single day and be like, this is what we're working towards. Now, step number 3 is we can create. So now that we've done all this planning, the purpose of doing all of this planning is now we have feeling words on how we want to feel emotionally when we look at our vision board and what do we want to take into the next year. So by using these, you can either come up with words that describe each of these or images that describe each of these. So I'll show you, for example. Now it's the best part, time to create. So I have my words right here. And what I did is I literally just, you can do this on Canva, or you can do it if you decide that you want to print it out, because I like printing mine out because I always have it right next to my desk. So I see it every day when I'm writing my goals down, every day when I'm working, and it just looks so pretty if you like get it printed out like from FedEx. That's all I did. Like literally yesterday, I just uploaded all of the photos that went with all of these words, that when I look at those photos, I feel all of this stuff. And some of them are very literal, and I'll show you what I mean. So I printed it out on FedEx and I was able to pick it up like the next day. And look how pretty and shiny it is. So one of my big goals, biggest goals, was to collab with Sebum. So I print out a picture of Sebum. Zach is gonna be like, what the heck? Because Zach is convinced that I would leave him in a second for Sebum, because I love Sebum so much. So I printed out a picture of Sebum, because then every day I can look at him and be like, I'm gonna do a YouTube collab with you. Now, my other dreams were number goals for social media. So what I did was I literally printed out my YouTube banner with my current subscriber numbers, and I printed out my Instagram and my TikTok. So what I'm going to do is I cut out these little squares and I'm just gonna tape it on top of the number it is now, and I'm gonna write in the number that I want it to be. And it's silly goosey, but for real, like what you see is so important. So that's what I'm gonna do for those. Those are a little bit more literal. And then one of my other goals was traveling outside of the United States, because I've never been outside the United States. So I printed out a pretty picture of the Eiffel Tower, because this has been my dream since I was a little girl to go there. I just haven't. And then I printed out a picture of a house, because I want a house. So I just found one that I really liked, and it was really beautiful. And then one of my goals and my positive practices was to do meditation. So I printed out a picture of a girl who is meditating. Okay, positive practice, reading. And then I wanted to, one of my big goals was to run 2 more Know Your Power retreats. So this photo was taken the day that I did my first Know Your Power retreat. So now every day I can look at it and know that I'm gonna be running 2 more next year. And then we have the goal of the Olympia. So I printed out a photo of the current Miss Wellness Olympia, because she's on the Olympia stage. And then another positive practice I wanted to do was yoga. So I did a girl doing yoga, even though there's no way I will ever do that. And then I have a dream of having a wedding someday, and this is what I want my wedding dress to look like. And I want to be married next year. And then I also, never mind, I'll get to that second, but I also did words, because for me, I take a lot of phrases and quotes into the year. So one of my biggest goals, one of my feeling words was I wanted to be peaceful. And for me, peaceful, but also powerful. So the phrase, I release the need to control every situation while also maintaining my powerful presence, is something that I really want to take into this next year. This was a phrase that I used last year and it really helped me, but I just know that I can be better, and I love it so much that I wanted to take it into the next year too, because it reminds me that like, I don't have to control everything, and I don't have to have such a tight grip on everything, because sometimes like releasing control and being more peaceful is better than just like, because that's what I do with a lot of things, and sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it works. Another one that I have is I'm peaceful and I'm powerful. And then my vulnerability is my superpower. So these I can just cut out and put on there. I also went to Target. We got some glue sticks. We got scissors. I have these, which are cute, little like pins. And then I have my printed out stuff. I got some paper, because I want to, instead of just like putting them right on here, I want to like glue it to a piece of one of these pink papers and then put it on. And then I got some stickers. All of this is just from Target, which I think are cute, and I'm gonna add them, because they also has the butterfly. And you guys know how much I like the butterfly. So let's create. I've used this cork board for like 3 years in a row, and this has never left it. It's been here for over 3 years. The Know Your Power, it's always at the top of my vision board. You can tell that I've been using this a lot because there's stuff all over it. So let's get cutting and creating. Open sesame, got it. Okay. I definitely don't need this much paper, but I'm going to use, I think I'm gonna use the baby pink ones. Now I have all of my little goals, especially like for social media. I write them out, and I can now pick and choose where I want to put everything. Okay, now that I have them in the right place, I love that I just have these, because then I can just do this and it's a lot easier, and I can move it around and add stuff throughout the year if I want to, instead of not being able to move it if I want to move it. Okay, last touch. My stickies. So these I kept from my other vision board because these are printed out either DMs or YouTube comments that you guys have written to me. And I want to add them back to the vision board because anytime that I'm questioning like what I'm doing and if I'm, you know, even making a difference or, you know, feeling just down, I can read what you guys are saying and it makes me remember. Ta-da! 2024 vision board. This is what we are manifesting / working towards this year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am excited to see what y'all's vision boards look like. Make sure you tag me, comment down below your favorite part of the video, and remember in the description you can join the 6-week Monarch Challenge, and there's a PDF version of all of this that we went over just in case you want to look it over so you know exactly like what all the feeling words and the core values and the goals and stuff. But I'm happy I get to look at CBUM every day. I love you all so much, and you're more powerful than you think. Bye!